Art that you find in public places typically dates back decades to a particular occasion or certain season. It is also common for certain institutions, like the public work of art project during the Great Deal era, to fund these projects during times of economic distress. However, there are also those artists who simply want to display their pieces in open areas to please the public. Upon arriving to the Griffith Park Observatory, there are numerous exhibits outside that gravitates one's eyes towards them, one of which is the Astronomer's Monument. Using a design by local artist Archer Gardner and help from 5 other artists, they sculpted and cast the concrete monument and figures. Each artist was responsible for sculpting one astronomer. Gardner's sculpture is 40 feet in height with a cast bronze astrolabe at the tip. The figures are historical leaders of astronomy. Hipparchus, Copernicus, Galileo, Kepler, Newton, and Herschel are arranged around the hexagonal spire. The figures are uniform in height, something that was far from the truth in real life, but it shows a good representation of the idea of astronomy's leaders rather than their portraits. This shows a great example of science and art coming together to form such a magnificent monument. The sundial is a great example of a functional or industrial design art. The ring is made of high nickel bronze and has an outer diameter of 34 inches. Engraved markings on the ring allow one to track the movement of the shadow and thus to keep the time using the sun. Stepping inside the public area of the observatory, we are drawn into another functional piece of art known as the Foucault pendulum. The 240-pound bronze ball, suspended by a cable 40 feet long, swings in a constant direction while the earth turns beneath it. It is quite the sight to behold, and following the cable to the ceiling, one is blown away by the amazing display up above, the Balling Ceiling Mural. In ancient times, people used myths to understand what they saw in the night sky. In the murals overhead, 1930s painter Hugo Ballin illustrated those early stories using a parade of classical figures. He used a range of soft hues and delicate details combined to create a harmonious yet thrilling narrative. These 8 panels represent what he called the advancement of science from remote periods to the present time. Each one shows how science and engineering changed throughout history up to the time Griffith Observatory opened to the public in 1935. The fields shown are aeronautics, navigation, civil engineering, metallurgy, and electricity, time, geology, and biology, mathematics, and physics, and, of course, astronomy. Although hundreds of films, television shows, and commercials have used the picturesque surroundings of Griffith Observatory, none have featured the building more prominently or brought as much international attention as the Warner Brothers production of Rebel Without a Cause in 1955. This landmark motion picture, which immortalized James Dean in the most remembered of his 3 films, captured both the interior and exterior of the